Are you wondering what you can buy here in the GTA area in $1 million? Well, I've put together a list of homes in the major cities to cover what we can buy in what we call today a tight budget. With the average homes hitting an all-time high of almost $1 million, it's becoming harder and harder for buyers like you and I to afford homes. However, if done right and done strategically, you can actually purchase properties at a good price. And I'll cover a few tactics that we use in our team to get good deals on real estate even today. I'm shooting this video in the middle of February, and I'm gonna cover a couple of homes that I've handpicked around $1 million in major cities in the Greater Toronto area. So what are we waiting for? Let's get into it. The first property we have here is in Brampton on 30 Sedgwick Crescent. It is a detached home, beautifully maintained. As you can see in the pictures, shows really well. It's got 3 bedrooms plus 1 in the basement. And the best part about this home is it has a finished basement with a walkout basement and a separate entrance and an apartment for you to be able to rent this out. This is becoming more and more common these days because the prices are shooting up and buyers aren't able to carry on the mortgage on their own. So this guy here is listed for $999, and this seems to be the trend for properties like this in Brampton. Moving on, looking in Mississauga, we have this property on 3473 Burlington Road. It is also a 3-bedroom, 4-wash. It's got beautiful finish to it inside. As you can see, really well kept and updated. About, I want to say 1,400 square feet. And this is what you can buy for $1 million in Mississauga. This does not have a finished basement. I want to point that out. Well, it does, but not an apartment in the basement, which doesn't give you that supplemental income. Moving on, let's see what we can buy in Toronto. So this property here on 9 Caledon Crescent, listed for $999 as well. It is a 3-bedroom and 2 bedrooms in the basement. So a really good income generating property. It's got 2 kitchens, and as you can see in the pictures, it's well kept and in a desirable location. So this thing can rent really fast. I'll let you scroll through some of the pictures again. Beautiful layout, stunning finishes. So that's what you can buy in Toronto, folks. Moving on, let's go into the west end towards Burlington. Here we have a detached home again, 3-bed, 3-wash, listed for $999. This one's a bit tighter in space, but also a newer product. So this one here has been built in 2016, which makes it only a 4-year-old home. Really well kept as well, and not very big, but new house. So for those guys that are looking for something that's a newer home with less maintenance problems, this might be an ideal fit. Now, as we move along again, we're gonna go up north towards Caledon. A lot of people seem to want more land and more space around their house. They don't want to be next to their neighbors, especially during COVID, so I can understand that. We have a property here on 15213 Mount Hope Road, listed for $999 as well. The beauty of this property is it's a large lot, 175 feet by 200 feet. You can't go wrong with land, folks. With real estate, they just don't make it anymore. So they say, you know, buy land because they don't make it anymore, and that is true. Land usually appreciates really well, and this particular property happens to have a basement apartment as well, which is great for those folks that want a income generating home. This property here shows well. Very rare to see in some of the Caledon homes with big lots because they're older homes usually, but this one here, a good option for people that want land, almost an acre on this one here. And as we move along, we have this property here in Milton. This home is also a new property, under 15 years old. As you can see in pictures, really well kept, desirable location. The good part about Milton is it's an up and coming area, so homes here are very new and they grow in value really well. Milton has seen a great growth over time. I'll let you browse through the pictures, and again, this home here is a bit larger as well. I know it might look like it's a single car garage and not very spacious, but it is over 2,000 square feet, which makes it a fantastic family home. So that concludes our list of $1 million homes in the GTA area. I handpicked a couple, but if you wanted more details or more options, feel free to reach out and I'll be happy to share some insight of the real estate market. Now, as I promised, I'm going to share a couple of tips with you on how you can buy your property at a good price in this market. So the first tip I'd like to share is look for off-market listings. If the realtor you're working with is full-time and professional, he will likely be talking to buyers and sellers every single day. And usually in those conversations, pocket listings come up which are not publicized on websites or other realtors, and that's something that you can actually get access to without competing with other buyers. They're great deals and they're properties that don't require a lot of work and can be bought at under market price or at least market price. The second tip I'd like to share is to look for overpriced properties. I know what you're thinking, overpriced properties? What is this guy suggesting? I'm looking for a deal here and you're suggesting overpriced homes? Well, here's why. When looking for overpriced homes, usually there is a price correction due. Sellers in today's market are being misguided and told that their home is worth a certain amount just to find out a month or two later that they have to adjust their price below market value to get it sold quickly because they've either bought a home or they're in some need of moving out and they're short on time. Those are excellent opportunities for buyers like you and I to get a deal on. The third point is, if let's say you like a house and you know it's going to get multiple offers, here's a few tips that you can use to ensure you're on top of the list when the sellers are reviewing offers. The first is to do a walkthrough inspection of the house. Usually inspections are 3 hours long, and I know it's hard to do one when there's showings happening on a property. However, what we do is a walkthrough inspection, which is usually a 1-hour inspection of a basic overview of the house. This will give you an indication of whether there's any plumbing, electrical issues, or even structural damages in the house, so you're not just going into a property completely blindsided. Secondly, ensure your mortgage is pre-approved. So if you were to get accepted with the offer, you know exactly that you have your financing in order and that you won't have any hiccups if the offer does get accepted. Thirdly, ensure you have a bank draft with you. When I've been in the seller's shoes or seller's agent's shoes, when I see two offers and they're identical, usually if one has a bank draft with it, and if the offer is still a bit lower than the one that doesn't have a bank draft with them, I pick the one that does, because in today's market this happens very frequently. People bid and they put in an offer, but then the next day they don't show up with a deposit check. So when I advise my sellers, I always tell them to go with what's certain, and usually an offer with a bank draft is a lot more certain than one without. So that is something that helps you get a better deal than many other offers that are even higher than you if you have a bank draft with you during the offer presentation. So there you have it, folks. I showed you some properties in the GTA area that you can buy in $1 million range, and I gave you some tips on how you can purchase under market value even in today's crazy hot sellers market. You're welcome, guys. Now, if you found this video helpful and would like more videos in the near future, please like, subscribe, and comment on my videos so I can actually improve the content moving forward and give you more value as we go along through this year. Hope you enjoyed the video, and as always, Sid sells.